This is KGW News at noon.
And so without delay, please welcome Jonathan Smith as the 26th coach of Spartan football.
And with that, former Oregon State head coach Jonathan Smith is officially introduced as the new head coach of the Michigan State Spartans. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney. That announcement came just a few hours ago at a press conference in East Lansing, Michigan, where the Spartans welcomed Smith as the new leader of their football program. During that press conference, Smith talked about the importance of getting to know his new squad and making connections with the young men that he'll be leading at Michigan State. But it's hard not to think of him as a Beaver still. He walked on to Oregon State more than 20 years ago, led the team to a Fiesta Bowl win over Notre Dame his senior season, and eventually returned to Corvallis as head coach, getting the Beavers back on the winning track.
Definitely want to thank Oregon State University, all that place has done for me and my family. Leaving there obviously was an important, difficult decision, but I go back to, again, the fit of this place and cannot be more excited about moving forward. That place will always be special to me.
Smith will be back here in Oregon next season. Michigan State is scheduled to play the Ducks in Eugene on October 5th. Oregon State fans, meanwhile, are still coming to grips with the fact that one of their all-time favorites left Corvallis for the riches of Michigan State and the Big Ten Conference. The same conference that already took a handful of their Pac-12 rivals, including Oregon and Washington, now takes their head coach. KGW's Joe Ranieri went to Corvallis to talk to students about where Beaver Nation goes from here.
Obviously, there's a lot of emotion happening in Corvallis. Not only did the Oregon State football program lose their coach over the weekend, there's uncertainty about the entire athletic program with the Pac-12 realignment. And there's also Friday night when the Beavers lost against the Ducks in the rivalry game. Just a couple of weeks away from finals, and there's a lot of emotions going through the campus of Oregon State University.
I mean, it's pretty devastating for everybody. I mean, I was personally shocked by it. I don't know how you were feeling, but I know all of us are pretty heartbroken over it.
Those broken hearts don't have to do with preparing for big exams right now. It all has to do with the announcement that Jonathan Smith, the Beavers football coach, is heading east after taking the Michigan State University head football coach job the day after the Beavers lost to the Ducks. Students like Lauren Sears were blindsided by the news. Did you see it coming?
Not at all. I don't know. I don't think anyone did is kind of the problem. So seeing it just on the news when I woke up, I was like, oh my God.
At American Dream, right across the street from campus, cook Jack Hansberry shares some of those same emotions as Lauren.
It was a little bit unexpected to hear that news so quickly after the loss to the Ducks.
What makes the end of the Jonathan Smith era so sad is because of the history he has in this town and at this university. A former walk-on quarterback that led the Beavers to the school's best season when he guided them over Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl more than 20 years ago. And then he came back and turned this program around as a coach.
I'm a little disappointed, to be honest. He came in to help change the team, and I feel like he's done some, but he hasn't finished the job, and it's a little sad to see him go.
There might be a sadness around campus, but students and Beavers fans can't blame him for leaving.
It's still sad, but I don't know. Maybe we're going to be in the big league or something.
The Pac-12 conference is no more, and they're still scrambling to get a full football schedule put together for next season.
I'm sure that factored into why he left. I know obviously they paid him more money. That's a good incentive. So it's obviously really sad for us. And I mean, I think he was really great at developing some of the players.
One thing is for sure, Beaver believers won't be giving up hope.
We're just going to be there to support and hope that our support will be enough to take us farther.
There is some good news with the Beavers. They are bowl eligible this year, and we find out next weekend just who they might be playing in a bowl. But it sounds like some projections have them playing in the Holiday Bowl in San Diego next month. Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
All right, from college football, we turn to Blazers basketball. I want to give the home team a shout out for a nice win last night on the road against the Indiana Pacers. 114-110 was the final score. The Blazers suffered that real deflating loss the day before Milwaukee, blowing a 26-point second-half lead against former star Damian Lillard and the Bucks. So it was really nice to see the squad bounce back and steal a win last night from the Pacers. It's back to school week for more than 40,000 kids in Portland after the nearly month-long teacher strike finally came to an end. The teachers union and the school board are set to vote today on the new contract between teachers and Portland Public Schools. Here's KGW's Kyle Aboshi with what comes next.
Students in Oregon's largest district, Portland Public, returned to school Monday after missing 11 days of classes. The district and its teachers union reached a tentative agreement on Sunday, ending a historic strike that's kept schools closed since November 1st. It's the first time in district history Portland teachers have walked off the job. The nearly 1 month strike put pressure on many educators and families who now have to make up lost time.
Couldn't get a lot of work done. Got very, very behind, but
it took a long time for the teacher just to get the class to a place where they could start learning, and now I feel like they'll be starting over again.
The tentative deal provides Portland teachers 13.8% cost of living raises over the next 3 years. The district had initially proposed an 11% pay hike, while the union wanted 23% raises. Additionally, the proposed contract gives teachers more planning time, increased mental health staff, and improved building conditions. The union had pushed for hard caps on class sizes, but ultimately dropped that proposal during negotiations.
We feel like we have overall won a really strong contract and are really excited to get back to our schools with our students.
According to the district, the contract will cost about $175 million over the next 3 years, resulting in significant budget cuts. In a message to parents, the district superintendent wrote, "This process has brought sharp attention to the state's underfunding of quality education." Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
We do have one more note to Kyle's report. He learned that as part of the deal to end the strike, Portland teachers will receive full back pay for every day they were out of the classroom with no lapse in their benefits. Well, the deal that's being voted on today includes the plan to make up those 11 school days that students missed this month. Right now, the deal calls for 5 of those days to be made up by eliminating the first week of winter break next month. So the week of December 18th through the 22nd will now be a full week of school for Portland kids. We heard from some parents yesterday about their kids finally getting back into the classroom. Reaction was mixed, from sighs of relief to lingering concerns about the time that was lost.
Super happy to be back, but she's a bit concerned about the amount of work that's about to come because they've now fallen so far behind.
The other 6 days, by the way, will be made up throughout the course of the school year, including 3 days tacked on to the end of the year in June. We will continue to cover the resolution of the teacher strike throughout the day today, both here on TV and online at KGW.com. That includes coverage of today's vote on the tentative deal between teachers and the school district. We expect to hear from both sides later this evening. All right, Rod, it is your turn to talk about the weather here, my friend. What do you have for us?
You know, one of the headlines the last couple of days, and again this morning, Drew, and to you at home, is how cold we've been in the morning. Light wind areas away from the gorge, 23 this morning up in Kelso. Hillsborough also dropped to 23. It was 24 in Aurora and Vancouver. Troutdale warmer, 41, because of those east winds that continue to blow generally between about 15 and 30 miles per hour as we get headed into the afternoon over on the east side. Other lows, look at Bend, 7. Look at Burns, 3. It was 10 out in Baker City. We have one more freezing night tonight. Maybe some of you could get down to freezing Thursday morning, but generally Thursday's the day that we get back to rain and we'll start to warm things back up. More on that coming up in my complete forecast. But for right now, a lot of us enjoying sunshine. That's Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. We are monitoring some stagnant air and air quality alert issues, which is what the yellow and gray colors on this map are indicating. Generally, air quality is being reported as green is good and yellow is moderate. The stagnant air product of these days of high pressure that we've had and all the dry conditions. 45 in Portland right now, 40 in Salem. It looks like we'll warm up to about 49 at 4 p.m. I have lots of animations showing you lots of rain. That's coming up in my complete forecast in a little bit.
All right, we'll see you then, Rod, here in a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, Portland police have taken over the death investigation of an Oregon City woman who was found dead in Clark County earlier this year. The remains of 32-year-old Joanna Speaks were found back in April near an abandoned barn in Ridgefield. The medical examiner said she died from blunt force trauma to the head and neck. Police are now saying that they think she was killed in Portland before being moved to Ridgefield. Her family members shared a statement that said in part, "We are so much closer to getting justice for Joanna, a beloved mother, daughter, sister, auntie, and friend to so very many." Speaks left behind 3 children. So far, police have not named any suspects. The Washington County Sheriff's Office says it's dealing with a staffing shortage at the county jail. The Sheriff's Office says in recent years, job applications simply have not been able to keep up with retirements and departures. The jail division currently has 41 deputy positions that need to be filled. The shortage has meant cutbacks on prisoner capacity and policy changes. For example, for some nonviolent misdemeanor suspects, they are now, I should say, receiving citations to appear in court instead of getting booked in jail.
Even when our jail was fully staffed at 100% capacity, we were having some overcrowding releases. And so this current reduction in our capacity because of staffing constraints does make that worse.
For more information on the current job openings, you can visit the Washington County Sheriff's Office website.